Hello, welcome back to Virtua Boys. Today we're looking at the Darwin Project. So this is not a retro game, we often look at retro stuff. This is a current generation game, currently in game preview on Xbox One and early access on Steam. So the game isn't finished. If you don't know what early access is, it's kind of a beta program where you can buy into a game early while it's in development and play it as it's being developed and updated, and you can give feedback to the developers and all sorts. So this is the Darwin Project. When I first saw this game, when they had a trailer at E3 last year at the Microsoft conference, I thought it looked awful. It looked like the most 2018 game you could imagine. It's a Battle Royale game. It's got crafting and scavenging and survival aspects to it. And it had this kind of esports commentating over it, going like, ultra kill and headshot. And I just thought, oh, this looks completely awful. I tried the trial. All game preview games have got an hour or a 2-hour free trial, so you can try them out before you put your money down. And I actually ended up falling in love with it, and I'm completely hooked on it. So I really wanted to just play through a game and kind of talk about what I'm doing as we play. So the Darwin Project, it is a Battle Royale game, so similar to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite Battle Royale, a very popular genre at the minute. The Battle Royale genre is kind of famously 100 players dropping onto an island and then fighting until one's left. The Darwin Project is actually only 10 players, so each match has only got 10 people in it. It's actually got 11 people in it because the 11th person is a human player who is called the Game Director. And the Game Director is kind of, if you can imagine in Battle Royale, the movie, where certain zones of the map you're not allowed to be in at certain times, the Game Director is selecting those. They're also, I think, giving power-ups to certain players, or kind of putting a flag on certain players and saying, right, they're the target, everyone go and kill them. So they're kind of affecting the match. And you as the player have to react to what the Game Director's doing throughout the match. So you'll see my character here. We've dropped in. There's 10 players, and you'll see I'm scavenging. So I'm breaking up sofas for leather, and I'm breaking up trees for wood. And the reason you're doing that is because you use that wood and you use that leather to craft armor, to craft this lovely little fur cape that I'm wearing, which will keep me warm, to craft speed boots, to craft new arrows, all sorts of things that you're going to need to stay alive and kill all the other people on the map. So it looks like someone's just died, actually, so we're a couple down now. So here I've just crafted some armor. And what armor will do is it'll let me take one more hit. So if someone hits me with an arrow or an axe, it won't damage me. The first hit won't damage me. And that's a fire that I've just crafted, because one of the other big parts of the game is the cold. We're obviously in a cold map, and there's a little blue meter there around my minimap, and that's how cold I am. If the cold meter drops down to the bottom, you start to freeze, you start to lose health, so you've got to set fires down. And the cool thing about the fire mechanic, at first I thought it was just a bit annoying, like I've got to always be crafting these fires, what's the point? It's just irritating. The point is, everybody else on the map sees your fire. When you start a fire, it kind of starts billowing smoke up into the air. And other people can see that fire from a distance away. So it's kind of letting you know, you've always got a bit of an idea where other players are. And I think that's important, because there's only 10 players in the game. Look, you can see a fire off in the distance there. I think it's important, because it keeps you knowing where other players are, so you can kind of keep away from them when you try not to be in fights, and you can hunt them down when you are looking to be in a fight. So here I've just run over to electronics. So you'll have powers, like superhero powers, that you don't have when the match starts. That can be like a shield, like an energy shield that goes around you. There's camouflage, so you go invisible. And there's a radar, like a powerful radar, so you can see who's around you. To activate those powers, you need to find these electronics devices, and the game director will activate those in certain regions of the map. And when he activates it, everybody knows, you know, the announcer says, you know, new electronics, and you see it on your mini-map. And the idea being that potentially everyone will rush to it, because it's a really powerful thing to get. And me getting that electronics has just enabled me to build the radar. So now I can spit out this radar, and I can potentially see other players around me. You can see things are highlighted in red here. So it's highlighting areas where people have already scavenged things, which I can go and look at as clues as to where people are. and it will also highlight literally like players on the map. So yeah, a really powerful thing. So all this crafting and upgrading your character, you know, well, you're obviously, your main objective is to stay alive. Like, there's 9 other people in here trying to kill you and trying to be the last one standing. But you've also, like, the environment is trying to kill you. In the cold is. So there's always this tension of I need to be scavenging. I need to be collecting things that I need. I need to be upgrading my character so that when I get into a fight, I'm actually prepared. You don't collect new weapons in the game at all. You start with an axe, which I've actually, it's a big like snow shovel for me because I've got a skin for it. But you've got an axe is like your melee weapon, and you've got a bow and arrow, which is your ranged weapon, and that's it. You don't get new weapons. So you know, in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and in Fortnite, you're constantly looking for like new assault rifles and new shotguns and things. That's not a thing in this. If you want armor, you've got to build it. So you've got to scavenge for the parts and you've got to build it. So at the minute I've got 2 wood and 2 leather. You can see down in the bottom right, someone else has just died. So there's 7 players left now. Oh, I'll talk about the map. So the map is split up into 7 segments. You can see the mini-map in the bottom left, it's split up into 7 segments. As I said, the game director will block off certain segments. You can see the top right one, he's initiated the countdown and he's blocked that off now. So you can't go in that area. If you do, you're going to die. So you never know which one he's going to block off, and it kind of keeps the players moving, and the idea being that eventually, throughout the match, it will funnel players towards each other.
Center zone is about to be.
So here, you can see there is the edge of a new area that he's blocking off. He's just started blocking off the centre region. You have a minute to get out of it if you're in it, and you can see the edge of it there to kind of say, you don't want to come in here. So just building another fire to get some warmth back, and then a new electronics area has just been planted right next to me, which is really, really nice. Maybe the game director is on my side, I don't know. But you can see there the little, I don't know what it is, like a little robot icon thing. It's just been planted right next to me, and here's another player. So I don't think he's seen me yet, but I've got the radar skill, so I can highlight him. So as he's crafting something, sneak up on him and try and take him out. So combat inevitably ends up being firing arrows at each other until you run out of them, and then just wildly swinging your axe and trying to hit them. There we go. It just like went down to attempt to craft something, maybe some armor, but I was faster. So ideally, there we go. I killed rats. So that's my first kill. There's now 5 people left, so half of the players are dead. So there's only half left now. 2 of the zones are taken out of action. So there's, what, 5 zones left. And there's actually 2 sets of electronics on the map at the minute that haven't been taken yet. So I'm going to go and take this one because it's right next to me. I've got 3 powers that are down at the bottom there. My shield, my camo and my radar. I've only actually activated the radar. I need to find 2 more electronics if I want to have kind of my full suite of powers. So I've also just crafted an axe sharpener, which makes my axe do more damage. And I'm not sure what the other thing I crafted was. Speed boots, maybe? I can't remember. The speed boots, obviously, they just speed you up. So right next to the electronics here, go get it, and then craft the shield, because the energy shield that goes around you is really, really useful when you're in a fight. It protects you tons. So I've actually got the armor that the armor that I crafted, which I've still got, and then an energy shield as well as a power. So your defense is so much better. So get that crafted right away. I've actually only got 1 arrow left after that fight, so like that's another thing we've got to think about. I've got to get some wood, and I need to build a fire because I'm getting cold. But I also need to use that wood to build an arrow, and I'm going to craft a smoke bomb, because when you're in a fight, if you lob a smoke bomb, just smoke everywhere, the other player can't see you. It's really useful if you want to get away, because people will sneak up on you. That's kind of the other thing. You're playing this, and you're hunting the other players, but they're also hunting you. So there's always this element of tension where you don't know. One of the other players might have a radar, they might have spotted you. When you've chopped down some wood or you've gathered some leather, you'll leave behind like a clue for other players. And when you've crafted something, you'll leave behind something on the ground which will stay there for a predetermined amount of time. But if another player comes up and clicks on it, it will like show them some footprints of where you've been. So players are using those to try and find where the other players are. So you never know if somebody else has spotted you and they're on your tracks. You kind of just got to keep moving. And the map's not huge. It's not massive. You know, I'll say it's only for 10 players. It's big for 10 players, but in terms of like a PUBG map or even the Fortnite map, it's nowhere near as big because it's for a tenth of the player base. So 3 of the segments of the map are out of action now. We're kind of being funneled into this kind of lower section of the map. And when there's only 1 left, we'll really be funneled into just a small area. So this it kind of gives a cap on the amount of time that a match can last. It can't just go on forever because you're eventually going to be funneled into a tiny spot. So back where I just collected the electronics, the director's just activated that same electronics thing again. So I figured while it's nearby, might as well just hop back and get it. And then I've activated all 3 of my powers then. I've got my full suite of powers. And I'm kind of in a good spot for if I come against somebody. So while I'm just running up to get that electronics, just my impressions of the game really. As I say, I initially thought I was going to hate this, and I've ended up being kind of hooked. The early access kind of game preview thing that's available at the minute, it's very small in scope. There's only this 1 map. This is all that's in it. There's not many customizable options for your character. There is a character customizer, so it's clear there's going to be lots of like unlockables and things, like, you know, new hairstyles, new beards. You can be a woman, you can be a man, you can change your clothes and stuff. At the minute, everyone's wearing the same clothes. You can just change the colour of them. And then there's a new axe and there's a new bow and arrow, and I've got both of those activated at the minute. But there's nothing else, you know, beyond that. There's 1 map. There's the very limited customizable stuff, and just this 1 mode. You can play a player or you can play the game director. So who knows how much they're going to add? You know, what's the scope going to be? Fortnite Battle Royale is still only 1 map. PUBG was 1 map for ages, and they've added a 2nd map now. This map is much smaller, so I feel like I want another map because I've seen this entire map. Whereas after playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for like 100 hours, I still feel like there's parts of the map I haven't been before because it's so absolutely massive. So I do feel like this is going to require another map. The cold mechanic, I'm guessing, would mean that it would always have to be snowy, because that's a huge part of the game, the survival aspect of it. You know, setting fires so other players know where you are and you're staying warm. You can't really change that. But who knows where the scope of the game is going to go? Maybe they've announced a roadmap and I just haven't read it. I haven't kind of looked into much of the game, to be honest. But yeah, it's in early access at the minute, so you can't really criticise it for that. The early access copy is, I think it was £11.99, maybe $15. As I say, you get a 2-hour free trial, so you can play it for 2 hours, which is a good amount of time. I mean, that's probably, what, games of like 20 minutes? So you've probably got 10 games that you can play for free. Try it out and see what you think. It was enough for me to go, oh, I want to chuck in 12 quid on this and play more of it and see where it goes. But yeah, it's good. At the minute, it doesn't have crossplay, so PC players can't play with Xbox players. At the minute, maybe they'll add that in. Who knows? There's always the kind of lifelong argument of controller versus keyboard and mouse if they do that. But I think I'd be alright with it if it was opt-in. If Xbox players could say, I'm okay with letting PC players into my matches so that you've got a bigger player pool to match with, I think I'd be alright with them doing that. So there's only 3 areas of the map left now, and there's only 4 players left alive. So you can see that the game director has been systematically taking out the areas of the map to try and funnel it all into one place. Some games I've played, they just kind of pick random segments, and it's a bit annoying because it means you end up getting like stuck on opposite sides of the map. There are little teleporters that will change it, take you to the other side, so you're never completely stuck. But I think it's quite nice when a director like this one is clearly trying to like funnel everybody down into one area, and they're doing it quite intelligently. I quite like that. I haven't actually played as the game director, so I don't know how that works, but you can sometimes see their little robot flying around the sky, so I'm presuming they can just zip around and they can see everybody and they know where everything is, so they can kind of help some people out or hinder some people. And that may sound unfair and unbalanced, but the games are so short and I don't know. I like it. I think it's quite good. It's quite interesting. If a game there's only so much they can do. You know, they can't hurt you. They can just decide to maybe screw you. Like if you're in one segment, they can close that one down. They can put the electronics on the other side of the map from you. But you know, I don't know. They don't know you, so there's no favoritism, I guess. So the announcer that was in the original trailer that I said I watched and thought I'd hate it. What I initially thought was like this kind of crappy esports, just horrible announce thing. I've actually come to appreciate it as something. It's a bit like the Running Man, like a bit cheesy. You know, these are Battle Royale games. The genre is named after Battle Royale, but there's also a hint of the Running Man in it, the Arnie film, which I really come to appreciate more in the Darwin Project than I have in, you know, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or Fortnite. Probably because it's just 10 players, it's a smaller scope, and it's got this cheesy game show announcer. That's kind of what I keep thinking. I keep coming back to the Running Man, and that's, for me, that's a great reference. Yeah, I don't really know. It's more the Running Man than it is Battle Royale for me, and it's probably because it feels a bit more like a game show. You know, the announcer, and just how it's kind of presented a bit more like a TV show. So we're down to the final 2 players now. It's me and one other person. Everyone else has been taken out. I've only made 1 kill, so I haven't pulled my weight at all. There's just, yeah, me and one other player, and I've just seen that he has just grabbed that electronics thing, and there he is. I've hit my radar, and we can now see that's where they are. So there's about to be only 1 segment of the map left, and like the director's just closing down the left-hand segment, so this is going to be the only segment that's left. And I don't know if this player knows where I am, but I'm going to try and get the drop on him by jumping down here, and he's not in there, so I'm not really sure where he's gone. One of the powers you can get is a teleport, where it kind of zips you, you know, across the map, and he might have activated that. You don't know what the other players have because you customise your crafting wheel. Before the match starts, you customise it. So you can't change it when you're in the game, I don't think, but I don't know, you know, you can get turrets, like little gun turrets, which are quite cool. They're like automatic guns that just track players. But yeah, I've got the shield, the camo, and the radar, so who knows what he's got. But completely lost him anyway. Just waiting for my radar to regenerate, because it's on a cooldown at the minute. There's 10 seconds left of that. But soon, this segment is going to shrink, because this is the last one left now. So the game director's done with blocking off segments. He can't block off every segment. So here we go, sudden death. That means that the segment is going to start shrinking. So that's going to funnel us together even more. You can see that the walls are coming in. I'm just going to stick fire down here. Number 1, because I need warmth, and number 2, I'm hoping that the other player sees it and then comes over so we can actually get this fight over and done with. Yeah, just spotted him there on the radar. So the walls are coming in. This segment's getting very, very small, and I can see he's just activated an energy shield, so I know he's got the energy shield. I'm going to stick mine on, and let's do this. Let's do this, last 2. So just whacked him with a shield and sent him absolutely flying. I like the physics of that. When you hit someone with an arrow or with the axe, they just go flying back. So if they're near lava, you can like whack them into it. So I've activated my camo, so I'm invisible, and you can see they have the teleport. They've just like whipped across the map. I need to stop picking up arrows because I've just completely just fired off all my arrows and not left with any. Oh dear, so still got full health. The map's got very small now. We're just in this tiny little area. And oh, where have they gone? They might have the camo as well, to be fair. That might be why they've disappeared. So I'll just stick my radar back on. There they are. That's my smoke bomb. Try and confuse them in the smoke so I can get the drop on them. Come here, come here, come here. So I broke their armour. They broke my armour. So we both had armour on. And it's just a brawl now. If I was better at aiming, this might be a bit more strategic. But currently it's just a massive brawl. That's me trying to use a medikit, but it takes too long to use, so... Oh. So as I tried to hit him with an arrow, he ran up and hit me with his axe. And I'm not even going to try and say what his name is, because it's some long, stupid word. But they won. I lost. I came second out of 2. I'm kind of okay with that. This little score thing here just shows you, you know, it awards people for doing the most damage or the most like doing the most crafting and things. It's not a table of who came first or second or whatever. But that's the Darwin Project. That's one game of the Darwin Project. I thought it was going to be my first win. I was hoping that you were going to join me for my very first win, but unfortunately not. I really like it. I think for a little early access game preview thing, I think it's cool. It's different enough to Fortnite and PUBG that I'm enjoying playing it as well as them. You know, they're pretty similar games, and there's always a, you know, oh, which one do you prefer? I think the Darwin Project is a different thing. It's got crafting. It's got the survival thing. It's much smaller scope with only 10 players. I think it's really different, and it's different enough, and they've got a niche. Who knows how successful it's going to be? Who knows how much more they're going to add to the game? But as it is in its state at the minute, I'm actually having a really good time with it. So I hope you enjoyed watching a match of Darwin Project. Join me for future videos if you enjoyed it, and drop me a like, and tell me in the comments what you think of the game. And I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye 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 bye.